Monaco is one of the richest countries in the world, which makes it a billionaire's playground. However, what if I told you that visiting Monaco is not as otherworldly as you might think? Actually, you don't have to break the bank nor move mountains to visit the Principality. Most people that visit Monaco aren't billionaires, and to get there you only need a complete guide like this one to do so. Let's check out the best ways to arrive in the Pearl of the Côte d'Azur. Arriving in Monaco is very straightforward, given that there are not many options. Either you arrive by car or by train. And depending on your budget, you can also arrive by helicopter or boat. You can drive into Monaco either from the east or the west by following the A8 autoroute. The A8 autoroute starts in Aix-en-Provence and ends at the Italian border, passing through Cannes, Nice, Antibes, and Menton. Nice is the closest big city from Monaco, and driving from there to Monaco takes about 30 minutes. This is the most likely route you will take either by car or by train. Alternatively, you can reach the city from the east, which would mean that you're either driving from Italy or the commune of Menton. I want to point out that driving from Nice to Menton is a very scenic route, or better said, routes. This map shows the 3 cliff roads from Nice to Menton that are somehow parallel to the A8 autoroute. They are also known as the Corniche roads, given that Corniche translates to cliff. The bottom one is called Basse Corniche, as it is the lowest in elevation and closest to the sea. This seaside road is the only one of the 3 that takes you right through all of the Principality. Along the way, you can visit Villefranche-sur-Mer, Beaulieu-sur-Mer, Èze-sur-Mer, Cap d'Aix, Monaco, Roquebrune-Cap-Martin, and finally Menton. The middle road is called Moyenne Corniche, and it used to be the road that connected Nice with Italy before the A8 autoroute was built. Even though the Moyenne Corniche only passes through the beautiful medieval hill town of Èze and the commune of Beausoleil, you can get great sights of the seaside towns, including Monaco. It is recommended to drive the Moyenne Corniche in the direction Nice to Menton, because the road's overlooks are always on the seaside and it is hard to cross the opposing traffic in order to park. Finally, the Grande Corniche is the highest of the 3 with an elevation that can reach 500 meters above sea level. It is a very windy road and can be dangerous at times, especially when fog blocks the great views and makes the drive harder. In some sections the road is very tight, so be extra cautious when driving here. Yet, this is the most iconic and famous of the 3 Corniches. It was built by Napoleon and follows the ancient Roman road Via Julia Augusta. Along the way, you can stop at Nice Observatory, La Tourbie, and Roquebrune, but most people stay in their cars admiring the beauty of the Côte d'Azur. Going back to reaching Monaco, the cheapest way to get to the Principality is by train. It might not be as fancy and unique as driving into Monaco, however, it has its own perks. Riding the train, whether that be from Nice or from Menton, still allows you to marvel at the beautiful Côte d'Azur scenery. The train lines that reach Monaco run mostly through the Basse Corniche, which means that you are able to admire the seaside cliffs, the coastline, and some towns in between. A train ride from Nice takes about 22 minutes and departs from Nice-Ville train station around every 15 minutes. The first train leaves at 5:40 a.m. every day, and the last train leaves at 9:30 p.m. on weekdays and 10:50 p.m. on weekends. The ticket costs around €5 from the official SNCF website, which I have attached in the description box. The Nice-Monaco train line section is part of the TER line that goes from Marseille to Ventimiglia in Italy. Therefore, you could also arrive in Monaco from Menton or Ventimiglia. Menton, or the Pearl of France, is a 10-minute train ride away from Monaco and a must visit if you are in the region and have time to. Ventimiglia is just 30 minutes away from Monaco by train, and it is the gateway to Italy. Both trips Menton-Monaco and Ventimiglia-Monaco depart every 30 minutes and cost about €3 and €5 respectively. In the TER Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur line, you can connect to other lines that can take you almost anywhere in France and northern Italy, plus directly to other countries like Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, and the rest of Italy. If you like this kind of videos, please consider leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. It really helps the channel and inspires me to make more videos. Yet, probably the most common way to get to Monaco is by air travel. The closest airport to Monaco is located in Nice. Nice Côte d'Azur Airport is 19 kilometers in a straight line from Monaco. It is the third busiest airport in all of France and a focus city for Air France and EasyJet. It is also serviced all year round by all major and low-cost European airlines, several North African airlines, and Middle Eastern airlines. Only seasonal flights service North America operated by airlines such as American, United, Delta, Air Canada, Air Transat, and the exclusively business class airline, La Compagnie. The airport is very well connected with the world, yet it is considered a seasonal airport given that most of its air traffic happens during the summer. Once you land in Nice Airport, you should spend some time in the city. Nice is a beautiful city right on the French Riviera with lots of history and great attractions. However, this video is about Monaco. So how can you get to Monaco from Nice Airport? Well, you have several options: car, train, taxi, bus, and even helicopter. I went through how to reach Monaco by car and train earlier in the video, and from the airport the route is pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is that you will have to start your drive from the airport or take a bus or tram to the city center to hop on the train to Monaco. Taxis from the airport to Monaco take between 30 and 45 minutes and have a fixed rate of €95. This is a price list from the Nice Airport's official website, a website that I have attached in the description box. The taxis can be taken from a taxi stand outside of each of the two terminals in Nice Airport, or by calling the taxi company Central Taxi Riviera Nice. Alternatively, you can book an Uber all the way to Monaco, which will most likely be cheaper depending on demand. However, I do want to point out that Uber doesn't operate in Monaco, meaning that you cannot start an Uber trip from anywhere inside the Principality of Monaco. So be mindful that if you need to return to Nice, you will have to find an alternate mode of transportation. Although, technically, you can cross the border and call an Uber from there. But in my opinion, that is a lot of work when you can leave Monaco by train or bus. Talking about the bus, you can ride the bus to Monaco from Nice Airport as well. There is an express bus from the airport directly to Monaco for €19.50 per person. This is probably the worst option because it takes about an hour to get to Monaco, which is longer than getting to Nice train station and then taking the train. Imagine getting off a plane and grabbing a helicopter ride to your final destination. It is indeed the most Monegasque way to arrive in Monaco. Given that Monaco doesn't have an airport, look at the map. Where could you even fit one? Yet, do you know what actually fits in the Principality? A heliport. Thanks to Prince Rainier III, the Monaco heliport was opened in 1976 with one helipad. In 1987, it was expanded to a total of 8 helipads that still remain today, and they were renovated in 2023. The heliport is located in the district of Fontainebleau, close to the Stade Louis II, and right on the Mediterranean coastline. The heliport is serviced by Heli Air Monaco, Monaco's flag carrier, and Blade every day of the week. The trip from Nice Airport takes about 7 minutes and costs €195 per person, or about €800 for a private flight. You can reserve online through Blade very easily, and a little bit less easily through Heli Air Monaco. Even though the heliport is not centrally located, there are shuttle transfers included in the flight price that will take you from the heliport to any hotel, business, or your house in Monaco. Finally, but definitely not least, you can arrive in Monaco by boat. Of course, if you have your own private yacht, then you could dock at one of the two harbors in Monaco with a permit, Port Hercule or Port Fontvieille. In case the private yacht is not an option, there are cruises that will take you to Monaco from Nice and nearby cities. You can either take a cruise through the Mediterranean, as many companies have a stop at Monaco, or a day cruise from Nice or Cannes. I am not too familiar with the big cruise companies and their prices, but there are many you can choose from. Regarding a day cruise, there might be several websites that offer day trips to Monaco, but the best option I found is Trans-Côte d'Azur. Trans-Côte d'Azur offers day trips to Monaco from Nice or Cannes, which leave for Monaco in the morning and return to each city in the evening. These cruises allow you to have a full day in Monaco to explore and do all the Monegasque things your heart desires. From Nice to Monaco, it is a 45-minute boat ride, and from Cannes, an hour and 30 minutes. These are the prices from Nice, and these are the prices from Cannes. The only caveat is that the service only runs during the summer and on select days, so check the website in the description box for exact dates. It is a wonderful boat ride and very worth it, but it does cost either 48 euros round trip from Nice or 67 euros round trip from Cannes. So think about that beforehand, especially when public transportation is less than 5 euros. Monaco is one of the greatest places to visit in the world. The luxury, the glamour, the climate, and its rich history and culture are only a few of the things that make Monaco special. After looking at all the ways you can get to Monaco, hopefully I have convinced you to book a trip to the Principality. There is one thing for certain. Whatever way you choose to get to Monaco, you will for sure see some sights like no other. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. Comment any questions or other info I have missed. God bless you and have a great day.